So CM Punk's the fifth member, not Seth Rollins. Huh. Guess we were wrong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of The Stable Podcast. I feel like it's been a couple of months because it's been a couple of months.
PopCon.
That's right.
Indy?
Yeah,
But
PopCon Indy.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because we did Louisville was in the summer. Is that right?
No, Louisville was at the end of August.
No, that was last year.
No, that was this year.
Was it this year?
It was this year.
It's 2 weeks apart. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
PopCon Louisville.
PopCon Louisville was the last Stable recording because we hung out with Brian.
Which means I might have put the wrong live at on the Established Facts episode recently. Sweet. All right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, we're not professionals, so
Wow,
We'll
not
figure
officially.
that's right. Welcome again to the Established Facts. You can tell we're in a slightly more intimate setting, hanging out in Joshy's front room here, and we got kids upstairs that are getting ready for bed. So we're just gonna have some fun and chat with you guys. We got a couple of big pay-per-views coming up that we're gonna talk about.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. We have one premium live event and one
You're
pay-per-view.
right. You're right. Right. That's true. But both really big events.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially as we get closer and closer to the end of 2024, which is also a very crazy thing to say. The
yeah.
fact that it's near the end of November here that we're sitting down to record. So that's fun. But before we get into that discussion, we'll just go ahead and introduce ourselves, starting to my left.
This is Josh.
That's right. And I, of course, am your host, Big Don. And again, thank you again for showing up and hanging out with us for a little bit. So do we want to go over the short, undetermined card first, or do we want to go over the long established card and the actual upcoming pay-per-view that's
You already know me with my minor AEW bias in certain
Yeah, that's
situations, but the reality is it's the Friday before AEW
Right.
Full Gear, which
Right.
means we have the majority
We have-
of
yeah,
the
pretty
card.
much. Yeah, pretty
So
much the entire-
let's do Survivor Series first because
it's a short card. We
yeah.
already know there's a few matches. There's some predictions for some matches. I have a couple of fun ideas to throw at you.
I hope you wrote down all the names because I do not know who, mainly the women's. Like I've got
Yeah,
a
I do. I have it
pretty
all.
good idea of who are all in the men's as long as it pans out like they've recorded.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore Seth Rollins was already supposed to be a part of this as of Monday, yet it didn't happen Monday.
because
So
it was I believe Raw was pre-recorded.
yeah, I thought so. I thought that's how they ended Raw last week. Are they like holding that off till the I don't know.
I don't know. They're trying to build some suspense, but we all, if it's not Rollins, then who?
Right. I mean, I'd say it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm only partially sorry because
Yeah.
I really don't know. They could totally fool us.
Well, since we're talking about that, let's just go ahead and kick off with our men's War Games match.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, if you will, kind of in a nutshell, the old school OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. So you've got, of course, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, all established members of this War Games team. And then what we believe is probably going to be Seth Rollins, but it hasn't been 100% confirmed. We're pretty confident, especially based on the other team. So they're going to be going up against the new Bloodline, which is, of course, Solo Sikoa, the leader of the new Bloodline, Tama Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Bronson Reed. So that is those are the two teams so far. We're kind of suspecting that it's going to be Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed currently in a storyline together.
And there were minor Raw spoilers at some point that said Seth was going to be saved by the Usos at Raw. But again, I thought that was supposed to air this Monday. But maybe I got my timelines mixed up. I don't know. Maybe we were just
It's all
in
multiverse of madness.
I
at
guess.
This point.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
But the Bronson Reed move, whether Seth Rollins ends up being the fifth member or not, I love the idea of Bronson Reed. And I know so many people are like, but we got so many other Fatus and the rest of the Tongans and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, I mean Hikuleo will eventually show up, and I heard that Lance Anoa'i is now under NXT contract too, and all that's great. But to have big Bronson Reed on the
Right.
side of those guys,
Well,
like
and I also think that one, they don't have a big powerhouse guy. I mean, Jacob Fatu is real close.
Jacob is
He is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Samoan werewolf, 100%.
it's real.
Yeah, that dude is nuts. But they don't have a big-bodied powerhouse guy. They've got a lot of guys who use a lot of power moves and stuff, but they don't have anybody like Bronson on their team,
Right.
right? And I feel like when you match, let's just take the foundational four on each team: Roman, the Uso boys, and Sammy versus Solo, Tongaloa, Tamatonga, and Jacob Fatu. They are really closely matched in ability, in look. You've got a lot of good composition between those two teams.
Well, and I fully expected that to be our War Games match, 4-on-4.
Right, a
But
4-on-4.
When Solo announced it 5-on-5, I was like, what are we going to do here? I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not going to discredit that.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing the memes of like when they get in the pod and it's just Seth and Roman and the last two and they just start wailing on each other before they
That'll be
like,
an interesting situation. I think that that's a great build, a great stress build. I don't know though. I think you gotta. I feel like you either got to start or you got to end with Solo and Roman.
yeah,
I think it would be cool to start with
Solo will 100% be last.
Yeah.
But boy, would it be funny if the rest of the bloodline went Roman, go.
Yeah.
You want us to help you? You go do it first.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That would be something.
I don't expect that. It'll probably be Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, but if you remember, okay, let's harken back to what was it, 2 years ago?
Yep.
When they did the angle with Sammy beating Kevin Owens at the end of the War Games elimination match. Right. So, who was the first one into the ring for that match? Do you remember?
It was Jimmy, I believe.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because Jay was ready to go in there, and Roman went,
He
no,
pulled
no.
him back. That's right. You're right. I think that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just curious if
I could be
That
wrong,
would be-
but
that
I
would
do
be a good
remember
move.
that.
That
yeah.
would be a good move.
Where Sammy goes, nah,
No,
you.
or Seth.
Yeah.
I think Seth. It makes almost more sense that Seth would do it because he has a longer history with Roman in a partnership, if you will, than anybody else on that team.
so
That'd be
interesting.
really good. But I do think that Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins are good additions. There's lots of storyline there, and I also feel like if you're gonna make the new bloodline into a group that really breaks the mold from the original, make them different.
Sure.
Give them people that aren't necessarily like family by adoption versus family by blood.
Sure.
I think that's a great move. I think it gives you a lot more license to play around with different talent. Come in, come out. Kind of like it's very Four Horsemen-esque.
Yeah, I like that comparison more than the NWO because
I agree.
I'll say similar things with Moxley's Death Riders in AEW. I don't like anyone that tries to compare it with the NWO because then if the ranks increase, it's gonna get watered down. And so far, the Horsemen seems to make a little bit more sense, especially when you don't have a Paul Heyman in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what's going on with him?
Yeah.
I kind of want to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Who do you think's winning this match?
Man, I think that the new bloodline is going to win this match.
I think it's going to be the OGs.
Really?
I do.
Why?
Because Solo got the win against Cody and Roman.
Yeah.
And that's legitimately the biggest reason. Because then we've got a balance thing, and like Solo's not going to have any choice. He's going to have to get Roman,
get the rubber
which
match.
makes me think maybe is there a possibility that Roman's not in the Rumble, and we get a one-on-one with Roman and Solo at the Rumble
That'd be
instead?
interesting.
I don't know. Those two in the Rumble, it seems an important call too.
I I
But
think that's an interesting. I think that's an interesting booking. I think that's not something that I had necessarily thought of because in my head I'm thinking, yeah, it makes the most sense that Roman would be in the Rumble or
Yeah.
like at least
well, would want
But-
to be too. But then again, like it's this. What's
Yeah.
more important now, going back for the title or the tribal chief?
Mm-hmm.
And then again, now you spin into this. Well, just that happens at the Rumble, and then that's when the Rock returns, and the Rock costs Roman, and that
Yeah.
sets up Rock and Roman. Like
Yeah.
I know we're fantasy booking, which stay tuned for our next episode.
Yeah,
which,
yeah,
by
yeah.
the way, this
Yes.
is episode 30.
Yeah, it is.
I know that we are the most irregular wrestling podcast on the planet.
That's right.
I almost want to make that our moniker. We're just irregular,
That's right. That's it.
and I'm okay with it.
Wrestling's irregulars. Yeah.
But that's another way to go. Now, that said, why do you think the new bloodline is going to pull it off?
Man, I think the new bloodline is going to. So, I guess from the perspective that you have this group of guys that really feels unbeatable. Like they are this new mountain of a stable. I loved, personally, I really loved and still do love the OG bloodline. The guys in that group are incredible. But they are guys who are closer to becoming John Cena's than becoming, that next generation. You're talking about a group of people. And Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa have been wrestling for a long time. Those guys are really established in the industry, but I think it's great to see them really being pushed. Guys like Jacob Fatu was kind of a no-namer, before he came along in the bloodline, and I think that giving them that win, unless you're going to set something up, I can definitely see the argument of having Roman's team go over the new bloodline in an effort to kind of build that rubber match sympathy, excitement, to then be able to start inserting more people.
Sure.
Or kind of like flexing people in and out. Because one thing that I can say is the OG bloodline is not something that's going to stick around.
No.
It's definitely something that is transitioning out.
Yeah.
Whereas the new bloodline, I still feel like has got really good footing to run for a little while with those guys, but in a different manner and direction. I mean, we've kind of already seen a very different bloodline with the new guys versus like the OG.
Well, and especially if The Rock is the mastermind behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
Very true.
they have the teases now are, is Rock going after Cody or is
Right.
Rock helping the new bloodline?
Yeah.
And we know The Rock's going to be involved. I know there's rumors that he may or may not be at WrestleMania, and I love Cody Rhodes' responses. Like, just keep talking about it. You'll find out. We know what's going to happen, but you'll find out what the rest of them do.
Yeah.
Because it's the right call. You don't need
Yeah.
to tell everybody what's going on yet.
Leave
No fun.
Leave us a little bit of mystery
Yeah.
because it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the fact that we're both kind of split on this is very telling to
Yes.
what this storyline is, which I feel like is a good storyline.
Yes.
I think this is a lot of fun seeing Roman come back. He looks good in the ring.
He does.
He's moving really well. He looked great. Like when he came back and you're like, oh wow, he's
Well,
shredded.
Roman is clearly back. He had a
Yeah.
freaking ref bump.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. Albeit not nearly as influential as previous reps.
No,
but
but-
still. Okay,
So Paul Heyman. So I want
Yes,
one note
go
on that
for it.
one. The fact that Roman tried to call him, and I haven't seen what happened on SmackDown. He may have tried again. But the whole trying to call and the phone disconnected thing, love that.
yeah.
And
Because Roman was the only one paying his cell phone bill.
apparently, well, and Solo broke the phone, but
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
not going to prevent the phone from being disconnected.
Yeah.
Just, I saw somebody fantasy book that Paul Heyman is now with The Rock just for this time frame
Okay.
because Paul can be the advocate for The Rock when he's not there.
Wow.
And was like,
That's a swerve and a half.
well, I mean,
Swerve and a half.
so was when they panned out and saw Paul talking to the Roman.
Yeah, you're
And he doesn't have to do it long. I mean, think about it. Get us through to WrestleMania just to be like, what is going on? My wise man and blah, blah, blah. Like, I saw somebody post that and I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it, but I am here if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think one of the What Culture guys was talking about having like this struggle between like Seth and Roman back and forth until Survivor Series gets there, and then Seth doesn't show. He no-shows, right? Mm-hmm. And then Paul comes out, and he says, "You need a guy? I know a Paul Heyman guy." And then CM Punk comes out and takes his place.
Yeah, I heard the Punk rumor.
I think that'd be really interesting.
I also heard Brock, and I loved that concept too. I like both of them.
Yeah, I think Brock
CM Punk stealing Seth Rollins' spot.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think Brock is a way further stretch than
that's fair.
CM Punk, but either way, it's gonna be fun.
What other?
Do you want to do the women's one now, or do you want to do the one that's solidified in ink in between?
There's a women's match solidified in there.
Yeah. So we've got the women's War Games match, right? This is officially 5-on-5 because we just got the 5th member of the women's.
Just remembered the other.
Yes. So we've got Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax and her friend Tiffany Stratton. We'll see how that pans out, and Candice LeRae.
Could you imagine Tiffany cashing in the middle of War Games?
That's down here. That's down here. Yeah. I was going to bring that up.
Nice,
that's my Paul Heyman moment. It's okay.
Enough.
And then Candice LeRae, of course, because they need somebody who's light and they can throw around. Versus Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, who I believe are still the women's tag team champions.
They are.
Naomi, who is just incredible. Io Sky, and the newly returning, face mask wearing, still punk rock to the core of her heart, Rhea Ripley.
Biggest pop in the company right now, I think.
Just saying. She came back very Wednesday Addams meets Marilyn Manson on Monday night, which was really interesting. Like, just jet black, dark hair, just kind of like low bangs, and then that mask was just wild looking. And then, of course, immediately grabs a mic, yells War Games, and headbutts the crap out of Liv Morgan. So,
I love the fact that the first thing she does is the thing that got her nose broken in the first place.
Yeah, she don't care now. She don't care now. So that's our five lady teams, 5 women.
So again, this is Friday, so SmackDown was airing before tonight. We didn't get caught up, but I did happen to see on X that apparently somebody laid out Jade Cargill. Like, she was found knocked out on top of a car. So that might be a twist. Like,
okay.
I don't know, it might be a twist for the match next week. But this one feels to me like the heels might pull this out.
Okay.
But Rhea's so strong. Like, how do you have Rhea lose when there's no title on the line?
Yeah, they have 3 powerhouse women on that team. Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill could lift a truck.
Yeah, well, I mean, no offense, but Nia's in the ring. They got a truck to move around. I don't mean that. Like, she is strong.
She's a powerhouse
and large.
Yeah, she's a
powerhouse too. But don't take that offensively. I'm actually very proud of Nia Jax. She has been amazing.
Yeah, she is. That was, on a very quick side note, that was a conversation piece that we had a few months ago.
Yeah.
Was when she won the title, and I had a conversation with my brother, and he's like, I just don't understand why they would do that. She's not very good. And I was like, time out. First off, she's hands down better than she was previously.
Absolutely.
She took a break, she got good, and she's continuing to prove that out.
Yeah.
Secondly, I trust Paul Levesque. If he sees Nia Jax as champion material, and he decides that creatively he wants to put the title on her, then that's the right decision.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to like it all the time, but it makes sense. It's good for business. She's going out there and killing it. The storyline between her and Tiffany is hysterical.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's really good. So she's doing good character work. She's doing good in-ring work. I look forward, and she's got, with Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, she's got 3 women that she can go with.
Yeah.
And then, Raquel Rodriguez in her own right.
Yeah.
They're on the same team, but like, those are 4 women that are just powerhouses.
There's so much
Yeah.
strength that's
Yeah.
going to be in that
That's
ring,
gonna
and
be
I love
really
that. That's great representation
Yeah.
of the breadth. It's a bit, boy, we could have a whole conversation about just the different women's styles in both companies right now.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, WWE's women division is on another level, and that's
Yeah.
the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I mean, Sol Roca. If you've not seen her,
Oh
that
my
Soul Snatcher
gosh.
finisher, man,
It is so good.
she's incredible, and
It's so good.
it's so good to see that. I could get into a whole episode about that,
Yeah.
but I like it feels like I want to say the heels are going to win, but
Yeah.
they're not.
I mean,
They're just not. Rhea's going to walk out the win. She's
unless
gonna
there's
get the win.
shenanigans.
I mean, sure. Like what?
Well, I mean, you got potentially
The cash in?
Dominic.
Oh, Dominic. Yeah. Oh, God.
You know, you can't discount
If
Dominic.
he gets in that ring,
I'm just
they're going to
saying.
kill him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you got Dominic. You've got tension between Tiffy and Nia Jax, because who knows what's going to happen with those two. Candice LeRae, I think she's just kind of universally somebody who can be a pest, but I don't know that she's necessarily in a strong enough character position.
Wait a minute. Tiffany's on the same team as both Liv and Nia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. What's great is they all get squashed, and then she cashes in and pins them both.
Undisputed women's champion.
Yeah, undisputed women's champion for 3 days.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think that setting up for, because I think the next pay-per-view after that is the Rumble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big break
It's a-
for WWE.
It is. I think that you set up some really interesting storylines if you do have the heels go over. Because there can be a little bit of light tension sewn in with the faces.
Sure.
You know, Jade and Bianca, do they get along? Does Bianca lean on Naomi more for assistance and all? You know what I mean? Is there a little bit of some cracks and rifts in there? I was so surprised to see Io Sky on this team,
Yeah.
because I just don't know what sort of ambiguous hole in the ground Damage Control has fallen into. Like,
Neither do they.
yeah, it's like
They're running from Shayna Baszler still. We don't want anything to do with
I
them.
know, it's just weird. Like, it's weird. But I mean, I'm glad she's in there because, again, she's very similar to Candice LeRae, Liv Morgan.
She's in there.
She's
She's
athletic as heck.
she's in there to do her moonsault spot with
That's
some
it.
other weapon.
That's it.
why she's there.
Yeah, she is insane.
okay.
The genius of the sky. For
Quick note: Royal Rumble, which we've talked about this way longer than I expected us to, but that's okay. Royal Rumble, if you're not aware, is going to be live in Indianapolis,
That's right.
Lucas Oil Stadium, February 1st,
Yep.
2025. Hopefully, I'll see you there. We
Yeah.
got tickets. I'm so
There
excited.
there are still tickets available.
There are.
as of, I think, Tuesday of this week. I
Yeah.
was looking at the arena and stuff, and there are lots of tickets still
Yeah.
available.
Have your savings ready because
Boy.
they're pricey.
Yeah.
Um,
I did look. There was just because I was curious.
Yeah.
Because I just want to see. There was a seat in the third row, ringside.
Yeah, $4,000.
6. And that's through Ticketmaster.
I know.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mighty.
It was absurd.
I looked at my wife. I said, "So which kid do you not like? Which one is it?" She didn't answer me.
She didn't answer.
Why?
No, I know.
I'm not sure. I think that the heels. I think the heels should go over on this because I think that the face team has a lot of momentum
Sure.
as individual stars. Naomi, Io Sky, notwithstanding, because they're kind of they're well received. They're
Right.
not necessarily pushed to the same level that Rhea, Bianca, and Jade are. But I think Rhea, Bianca, and Jade really push that team forward pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay if the faces drop it
Yeah.
to the heels. I also think that it builds more storylines leading into Rumble if you have the heels win in this match.
Sure. The third match is the World Heavyweight
It
Championship
is.
match, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gunther versus Damian Priest.
Yeah. Gunther's winning.
You think so?
I have no doubt.
Okay.
because I think Gunther at WrestleMania is the play.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't.
I think so too.
I, I'm nothing against Damien,
No,
but
he's a former champ. He
Yeah.
deserves to be in that match.
Yeah, he
He's
earned
gonna
it.
look good. Yeah, he's gonna look good. He's gonna make Gunther look good. Those two guys are big dudes.
Yeah,
And they're gonna light it up. And I think it's gonna be really a pleasurable match to watch, especially for the main event.
Yeah,
Better,
well-
it should be. I think it should be the main event because the only
It
other
won't
thing.
be.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
unless
men-
they
the
do
men's
well, they'll
chamber-
do
the
the,
men-
yeah,
the
you're
men's
right,
war
right.
games
They'll
will
do
be.
the war game. Okay, so
They'll-
maybe the co-main event.
they will probably open with the women's and close with the men's.
That makes
That-
sense.
I mean,
Because that's
that's-
what they do for the Rumble
yeah.
a lot of times, or Money in the Bank.
It's a great way to start it. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
that's,
agree.
that's a discussion in itself. But Chris Jericho, I think, even pointed this out when like he and Kevin Owens had that great storyline going to WrestleMania 33, and they still pulled the title off of Kevin. Jericho was more upset that he was not that it was a championship match, but they put him second.
Yeah,
Like, why didn't you let us open?
yeah.
Like, let us start hot. Like,
We've
AJ
already
and
built-
Shane
we've
did
already-
nothing wrong.
Yeah, we've already
But-
built this storyline to being white hot. So
Yeah.
put us on first. Let us get it done.
And
Especially since there's not a title on the
Yeah.
Now we're literally just sitting around waiting for 15 minutes
So-
to go out.
I stand by, like, and I love the fact that was it Crown Jewel where they opened with that Bloodline tag match and then closed with Gunther and Cody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, great
smart
stuff.
move. That's
Great
the other
stuff.
reason why I think Gunther's going to win, because he lost to Cody.
Yeah, that's
He lost to Cody by a wrestling move, surprise roll up. Love
Yeah.
that. But
yeah. No, I'm with.
any other quick surprises before we move on to Full Gear?
Not that I know of. So some of the match predictions that I was able to find so far, and again, these are just kind of rumors. We still
Yeah.
got some time before the card is solidified, but there's talkings about Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title.
Sheamus or Ludwig? 'Cause-
So I've seen Sheamus
okay,
because they just had a match
sure.
that was interfered with by Ludwig. I
Okay.
believe. I think Kaiser came out,
Yeah.
and kind of shenaniganed that match, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Of course, they could triple threat that.
That's
too.
what I was getting ready to say. Those three guys, I think, could pull off a
Yeah.
pretty decent triple
and
threat.
and would at least make Braun, because Braun is apparently playing a neutral character,
Yes.
like not heel
Yeah.
or face, which I'm
Yeah.
I'm down for. But
Yeah.
Sheamus is a good guy right now.
And Ludwig Kaiser needs a good heel push.
Yeah.
He needs to really establish himself as a singles as a singles.
Competitor,
Yes, thank you is the word I was trying to think of.
he
Yeah.
needs to stand on his own 2 feet.
Yeah,
like Gunther told him.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly that. Because I think that you can still build the Ludwig Kaiser Gunther parallel,
Sure.
but they really need, because they're not a tag team. They
No.
really need to be established individually. Okay, so then I saw, which I think this is a very interesting take, and I would definitely love to see it. Shinsuke Nakamura versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very interested in that idea.
So Shinsuke last week on SmackDown attacked LA Knight, and then this
Yeah.
week I think he caused a distraction on SmackDown.
Right.
I feel like both of those matches might get the card,
Mm-hmm.
but the War Games matches are 30 to 60 minutes
Right.
each.
Right.
So I suspect, so I love that WWE's been doing this. The SmackDown and Raw surrounding the pay-per-views
Yeah, I think would
tend
be
to
good.
get a mid-card or tag team title match.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
If not both, because then that kind of, though they're not able to get everybody on the card,
It
you
builds.
get a high-profile match right before it.
Mm-hmm.
But that also is they're pre-taping. I don't think they're running shows next week. I think they recorded them.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
holiday. Yeah. That makes sense.
Which bravo to Triple H for doing that. He's like that. Their team was very deliberate of that. Our crew is going to get Thanksgiving week off and Christmas week off. Like that
That's
is
great.
they're filming purposefully so that happens,
That's great.
which is fantastic. I love both those ideas. Shinsuke is so recently back that it'd be like 3 weeks and now you're on the pay per view.
Yeah, that'd
okay.
be a lot. That'd be a lot.
But it's also WWE, and there's only a month between pay-per-views sometimes, and
Yep.
that's what you got to do.
I do think it would be more interesting if, and I agree with you, I think it would be more interesting if they gave LA Knight a different competitor that maybe he has a little bit of connection with, but then build Shinsuke into the Rumble.
Sure.
I think that gives him,
Yeah.
5-6 weeks or so to kind of build that
Yeah.
storyline, or don't do an LA Knight match at all the SmackDown before, and then use the follow up or the aftermath SmackDown to start building that with Shinsuke and LA Knight. I think that'd be good. It'd be nice to see Shinsuke get back in there and move around a little bit. I miss watching him. He's a nut.
Yeah, he is.
And then the only other match that I saw predictions for is Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I mean
Which-
that.
I think that would be cool. I think Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton would also be very cool.
Yeah, but I think they're holding on Orton.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a good. I honestly, I think Rhodes Orton at Mania is a really fun.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I think it's a fun build. I don't know that it. I think that they'd have to really push it to make it significant enough.
Yeah.
To get to that card, Elimination Chamber maybe. But,
If John Cena doesn't win the Royal Rumble, I think John Cena's fighting Orton in WrestleMania.
see, I love that.
And then I think whoever walks out of that one goes for the title at SummerSlam.
I think that's good.
Now, I'm just throwing that because the SummerSlam. Now, this one of the SummerSlam main events will be taken care of through the Saudi show if they do it like they've done King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Which, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's still 2 world championships. That is booking way out there. I know, but I do like that idea. But
Yeah.
if Cody and Rock feels like it's gonna happen, or the one I'm rooting for is the triple threat match, which is Cody, Rock, and Roman, and that'll protect Rock and allow both those feuds to go on. But again, that's WrestleMania. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Everything could change.
We're not even on the road to WrestleMania.
We're not. We're
in
not.
the back alley.
Yeah, because apparently
WrestleMania.
the road to WrestleMania starts after the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
even though they talk about WrestleMania between the end of War Games
Yeah,
or Survivor Series
Yeah,
through
sure.
to
Yeah.
whatever.
that's it.
And
then,
I
of
do
course-
like those.
Of course, the surprise match of Tiffany Stratton against one or both champs after the word.
I
think
want
that is
her
such a good play.
To cash in on Nia Jax
I do
so
too.
bad,
I do too.
but it would be so funny if she
Yeah.
went, nope, and got Liv Morgan. It's like, woo.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it is like in the aftermath of a War Games match.
Yeah.
Like you just have Rhea just decimate Liv, and then you just have Tiffany Stratton hand it in and 1, 2, 3 and walk out. But then of course you split up the whole Nia Tiffany Stratton dynamic,
Yeah.
which is fun, but I don't know. I think that I will say this. I think that the way that they're playing Tiffany with the case feels like a real
Sure.
Money in the Bank
Yes.
situation.
Yes, they're
You know?
teasing us pretty well.
Versus Damian Priest, which was kind of like, is he going to cash in? Is he not going to cash
Right.
in? I'll walk to the ring, but I'm just going to stand there and look. I'm not actually going to. So.
All
okay,
right.
So that's it. That's
AEW Full Gear. I'm so glad you wrote
Yeah,
this down.
I got it.
A note I was telling Deb about this, and I just want to highlight because I know we probably only got about 15, 20 minutes here. This card, first off, they're in New Jersey again, which is great. Last count I saw, so the show is literally Saturday night. We're recording on Friday. Was set up for like 10,000 tickets. They'd already sold 9,000.
Yeah.
So everyone in their because they're struggling to sell tickets for the weekly shows. They are. They're putting maybe 1,500 to 2,500 people in big arenas, which is there's this big push to get them into small arenas and whatever, blah blah blah. They're going to get a massive marketing budget in January, and we'll see what happens. Regardless, they're still selling 9,000 to 10,000 tickets for the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
They're still selling 100,000 buys to the pay-per-views. They still got a $550 million contract from Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
AEW's not going anywhere, so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
should stop that. But this card, I think, other than a couple of the 0 hour matches, including the one with the Costco AJ guy, and
Big Boom AJ.
Big AJ. And the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match,
Mm-hmm.
I think every other match has had multiple weeks and in some instances multiple months of build-up,
Yeah.
which is huge, especially since Wrestle Dream was in October.
Yeah.
It was 5 weeks ago
Yeah.
when John Moxley basically murdered Brian Danielson.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't use the bag. I'm saying that for my wife. I'm done with the bag. Come up with something else. Moving on.
Yeah, John. Be creative. Barbed wire or something.
Right. Some other lethal weapon. I don't know. Just don't kill Orange. Peel him a little bit. Make a juice out of him. Don't kill him.
My gosh.
Those were horrible, weren't they? I know, but all right. What do you have? What do you have on your list?
Okay, so pre-show, Big Boom AJ with Big Justice versus QT Marshall.
Yeah, and apparently, who's the Rizzler? Do you know anything about
Nope.
that? No. Okay.
Nothing. Nobody.
I don't know.
I-
All I know is that the Big Boom AJ guy is like boom, like it's
Yeah.
his whole thing. The
Yeah.
Costco guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
He used to be a wrestler. He's friends with QT Marshall.
Right.
QT Marshall has not been like an on-air performer for the last few years. He's been working behind the scenes while he can run his wrestling school. But he's doing this because they're friends. And apparently the whole gimmick behind it was, look, Tony, we want to do this, but we're not going to take up any of your TV time. They promoted all of it via social media, and it got enough of a back end
Yeah.
that Tony went, okay, you can do it on the TV now.
Put it on the card.
They put it on the card. They showed it on Dynamite. Like it's, and there's no way QT's winning this match.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like watching Colt Cabana when he came here to Indy for a little show, and like you're like, Colt Cabana's not going to win.
No.
He's only in there to make us laugh for the next
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the Squared Circle Expo show is. Half of that show is make us laugh. And
Goofy,
then
gimmicky. Let's just have fun. Yeah.
Jake Oman comes out and puts on a clinic with
Yeah.
Matt Riddle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, and I know that you've got investment in this. I also do. Jay White versus the Hangman, Adam Page. Two brothers forged in Bullet Club lead.
So much. And I love the fact that Jay White is just standing on the fact that he's 4-1
Yeah.
against Hangman.
Yeah.
Because he is 4-1 against Hangman.
Yeah.
But if you've not seen the promo that Hangman did, I think it was on Dynamite talking about Full Gear, he was just like, do you not know who you're messing with? I'm the Hangman. This is the pay-per-view they literally named after me. And I was like, what do you mean? It was a being the elite behind the scenes skit where Hangman would just show up to places in full gear.
Yeah.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
And apparently it's named after him, but it was all from Psycho Eyes Hangman Adam Page. You're like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
This was named after you. Like,
I think he has to win, and I'll tell you.
oh,
It's
I'd
because
love to.
It's the conclusion of Cowboy Shib Week.
It is true,
Because, you know,
but
National
Jay White
Cow-
hasn't had a big pay-per-view win, I
true.
think, since he's been there.
that's true.
He desperately needs a win.
He does.
I'm okay splitting on this because it's not going to matter. They're
No,
just
it's
going to
not. They're
kill
gonna
each other.
It's going to be bloody.
And yeah,
It's gonna be bad.
And it'll be a regular match where you're still like, are we sure there are rules?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's going to be nasty. They're going to get after it. I'm excited about it.
I'm all right with an extended feud from them because the
Yeah.
stuff that he and Swerve did, which if
Oh,
you,
it was so good.
oh man,
So good.
have you seen any of the highlights from their unsanctioned match?
I think I've seen a couple of them.
Other than the hypodermic needle bit,
Yeah.
everything else they did, and it was just like I want to like sit down and pick your brain on the creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious, Swerve got powerbombed onto a cement block.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, gosh.
they were in a cage.
Yeah. Was it Adam who got power bombed on that same block and his back was just
Scraped up. Yeah, I think
oh
so,
my
yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a
Blech.
top rope power bomb at
Oh,
one
it was
point, and
gross.
oh,
It was they beat the heck I mean, here's what I'm gonna say. If Adam Page and Swerve Strickland can go at it and they don't really have a lot of history, Jay White and Adam Page going at it is gonna be a
yeah,
bloodbath.
yeah. No, so Swerve and Hangman became AEW's CM Punk and Drew McIntyre,
Yeah.
like, and it was a lot. I mean, my goodness, they staged him burning his childhood home down. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Jay and Hangman have history before AEW was a company.
Oh yeah.
And they've had matches
Yeah.
while in AEW. They've had one, I think, and now we're having another one because he believes that Hangman cost him the shot at the championship, which is true. And yeah, it's going to be so good. I think
Yeah.
Jay White, and you think Hangman, and I love the fact that we're split.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's going to be a good one. None of us are going to lose in that
No.
match. It's going to be good.
No.
Another match that I don't think either one of us are going to lose on, regardless how we choose, is this next one that I have on here: Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley.
So Swerve set up a trap after. Look, I don't know. I know Cheeseburger was one of the two, but Bobby Lashley killed two guys on
Oh, my
Wednesday
God.
night. Then Prince Nana distracted MVP and Shelton Benjamin, only for Swerve to come out and just completely take out Bobby Lashley and the house call he hit on Bobby.
Yeah.
And the fact that Swerve is trying to call himself the most dangerous man in AEW, I'm not saying that he isn't dangerous. I would question him being the most dangerous because he lost
Yeah.
in the unsanctioned match
Yeah.
to Hangman. Now, mind you, that's not on the books. You can't use that against him because it was unsanctioned. But you didn't win that match.
Yeah.
Just, anyways, and John Moxley
I was literally
is still
just-
in this company.
That was literally the comparison I was getting ready to make. I was like, I don't know that anyone has the right to call themselves the most dangerous person in any AEW company if John Moxley is active on the roster.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If John Moxley shows up at a German Championship Wrestling down at the random bar down the street,
Yeah.
he just became the most dangerous
Yes.
man at that wrestling
he
promotion.
did.
Like, anyways, but no, Bobby, okay. Bobby Lashley is probably going to win this match.
yep, I agree.
I'm okay with Bobby Lashley winning because Bobby and the Hurt Syndicate are new to AEW. And I hate that it has to come at the foot of Swerve. But I also know that Swerve and Bobby are like buddies, and like this is something they're probably
Right.
just enjoying the fact that they get to wrestle each other
Yep.
because they didn't get that shot when Swerve came up to the main roster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and from what I understand, Swerve is also still kind of nursing a little bit of a shoulder
Probably.
injury. So I think that especially if Bobby does it right, they can give Swerve an excuse to take a little bit of time to heal, and then maybe come back and reignite that sort of feud, or even, I mean, potentially, see Prince Nana go to the side and him become a Hurt Syndicate dude. Would be interesting. I don't know, I don't know how you feel about that, but
I think they have to do this match after the Fatal 4-Way
Yeah.
tag match because I don't know if it'll happen in that tag match, but I really do think that the Acclaimed are going to be breaking up and that Anthony Bowens is going to be with the Hurt Syndicate.
yeah.
I love the fact that they are teasing like Ricochet and both of the guys because not Bowens, Max Caster. Caster's the rapper. Bowens yeah. I think Caster's going to be the one that goes because I think Caster is on the cusp of a heel turn.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a good heel. And in the Hurt Syndicate, he'll be an even better heel.
Right.
But that hasn't happened, and we gotta get through the Fatal 4-Way first. That's why I'm saying that because he could be out there and cost Swerve.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's the newest member. Oh, like,
Yeah. Matt Caster is good too because his personality is different enough from the guys who are currently in the Hurt Syndicate, but also very much the MVP brand.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
he and MVP are different kinds of promoters, but in general, there are a lot of similarities that I
Yes.
see in Matt Caster from
Max.
Max Caster. Thank you, Max Caster from MVP's original days.
Oh, yeah.
in the WWE, very much like that kind of showboaty attitude, trash talking, very
Which
MVP.
Which I love the fact that they pulled the trigger on Private Party being the tag champs.
Yes.
From the Young Bucks, and I love the fact that the Bucks did that. It was, and in storyline, they're taking a break because the place has gone crazy and they don't want anything to do with John Moxley right now. Like, I love that that's what they're going with right now. I was concerned that they were going to do Isaiah Cassidy with the heel turn, but he didn't make any sense in Hurt Syndicate. So when they won,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, good. I see where they were going. but they did the right call here. But when I see this Max Caster heel turn, I'm like, ooh, I'm down with that. But he needs the advice. He needs somebody to kind of bring, just like when the Gun Club left Billy Gunn to be heels.
Yeah.
That was the best move for them because no one was going to boo Billy Gunn. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot I have a picture. Ooh. Sorry. Ooh. Yeah. Sorry. The screen dims because, technology, but this is it's most of the card.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Isn't it? I know it's work. Anyways, it's like I don't know, I was trying stuff out. Anyways, so yeah. You're in agreement, Bobby Lashley?
Oh yeah.
Next.
Oh yeah. I think Bobby Lashley is gonna put a hurting on Swerve, and it's gonna be all the right moves.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be all the right moves because I agree with you. If there's one thing that you and I tend to agree on in general, it's who needs the push more.
Yeah.
Put those people in that victory spot. Sometimes when you have like a Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins sort of combination, or like an MJF, Bryan Danielson sort of combo, it doesn't matter who wins. Right. Nobody loses.
No. And that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping Swerve ends up in the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll win. That's a conversation. Again, once I want to see the bracket before I pick who I think's going to win it. Okada. But
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. Because they're promoting the bejesus out of it to be like the winningest tournament wrestler ever. What, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So now we talked about it a little bit, so I'm going to skip down to this and we'll go back.
The tag match?
Yeah. Let's talk about the tag match. Okay. So we've got the current champs, Private Party. Right. We've got the Acclaimed that we talked about already. We have now. Here's the problem: is these two teams? I'm struggling.
Oh,
I'm struggling
so hard.
I'm struggling. You have the Kings of the Black Throne,
Brody King and Malachi Black.
I love both of those guys. I love everything about the House of Black. And then you have the newest tag team, the Outrunners, who we saw. Well, so if you haven't watched Wrestlers on Netflix, I think they feature in Wrestlers, first off.
Yeah.
They are former OVW guys.
Yep.
They are hysterical.
Yep.
If you are a fan of watching like late 80s, early 90s, Surfer Sting, Macho Man Randy Savage style wrestling, that's the Outrunners.
Oh, yeah.
They are that tag team. They are so funny to watch. They are so good.
I don't know if you heard, but they apparently have Legends deals. We don't know with what company, but they apparently have Legends deals.
Legends deals.
According to X.
That's right. They're in layaway, so that when they're Legends, they've already got it paid off.
But yeah, follow them on a social media. Just pick one.
Yeah,
don't care which one.
They are so great. So it's tough for me because I know who I would love to see with the titles.
Yeah.
I think it would be great to see the Outrunners. I think that they're still too green in AEW to push to be title holders.
I want them to surprise us. I want us to be wrong so much. I think that would be great.
And you know what? They'll pop.
Oh, yeah.
That crowd will go nuts.
I think the only team in that would be negatively affected by winning is the Acclaim.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And I hate that because I know they're multi-time champs now, and they're like thumbs up to those guys. I love those guys, but you're in the ring with the guys who beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
The guys who would beat your mama, and then the ones that probably knew your mama back in the 80s.
Yeah. Would date your mama. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think you're right. I think that the titles suffer if you put them back on the Acclaimed because they are naturally getting to a point that it makes sense for that tag team to split.
Yeah.
And both of those guys are actually going to do much better as single stars because they have naturally allowed this course of action to take place.
Sure.
Right? It feels right. It feels good.
Feels right, Brian.
It feels right, Brian. It feels right.
Well, and with all the rumors out there of what's going on with Malachi Black, which who knows if he's leaving or staying, but he's certainly staying long enough at least to do these pay-per-views and have a killer match with Adam Cole, which I'm so okay, man. I'm just transitioning to the rest of the card, right?
Way later.
I want the Outrunners, but I think that Private Party walks out.
I agree. I think they retain, especially because they just beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
They just beat the Bucks. Keep it on them for a little while longer.
I also think they beat the Acclaimed. I think they pinned the Acclaimed.
Pin the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I think
Specifically Anthony Bowens.
Yeah,
Because then Max Castro will be mad.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good determination on that. Okay, so we'll jump back a little bit. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, Mr. Josh. Yeah,
Kyle Fletcher should win.
yeah.
Will Ospreay should win. That's the problem. I don't
Yes.
see a good way. Like, I love the fact that they're doing this match.
Yeah.
I hate Don Callis so much that
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that I hate him.
Yeah.
He has reached that
He's
pinnacle.
an Eric Bischoff level.
Yeah, almost Bobby Heenan for me. Almost, man.
Yeah, he's not to that Paul Heyman level, but he's working his way up. Bobby Heenan is such a good comparison to him. Like he's
Yeah.
just he's a dirtbag.
Yeah, he's so much,
Yeah.
so much. And
Yeah.
this is one of those. The fact that Kyle cost Will the international championship is why I think Will's going to win. Because you don't want to lose Will's momentum. But
Right.
on the same note, a Kyle Fletcher win over Will Ospreay after such a change would be monumental for his career.
Yeah.
This might be one of those matches where a DQ finish might be warranted. And I know that AEW doesn't
Yeah.
do them often.
Yeah.
But this might be a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Will's got his team to try and balance the Don Callis family, which the fact that they've got Lance Archer and Brian Cage as a tag team is insane.
Yeah.
But Mark Davis and Will Hobbs, along with Ricochet. Ricochet is going to be busy later. But
Yeah. So I'll do you one better for bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll do you one better for, your DQ finish idea.
okay.
I think that you give these guys 12 minutes, 15 minutes in the ring. The ref gives them to minute 11 of 12.
Okay.
And they roll out of the ring and they just start wailing on each other and pulling move after move.
You're thinking
after
double
move.
count out?
Double count out.
Interesting.
I think you do a double count out for these guys.
Because you also have time limit draw.
That's
available
true.
at
That is
AEW.
true. That'd be good. That'd be good. Because then you do kind of see that this, Kyle Fletcher being a guy who has really started to kind of grasp that brass ring
Yeah.
and really kind of bolster his own career, as a singles highlight.
Yeah.
I think that that's great. I think that whatever you do, you need to use it to show, like, I don't think there's going to be a handshake at the end, but it's one of those kind of things where it's like, you get two guys in the ring, like a John Moxley and a Bryan Danielson who beat the ever-living mess out of each other, and at the end of the day, they shake on it.
Yeah.
Sort of
Yeah.
feel. I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I think you're probably way more right than I am. Because Don Callis is a dirtbag.
He's a dirtbag.
He's a dirtbag.
He is a screwdriver in every pocket of every suit he owns.
I hate it.
I swear.
I hate it. He's
It's interesting that we can point that, like,
Yeah.
Mr. Fuji was salt, and apparently Don Callis is the
a
screwdriver.
screwdriver. Yeah.
Anyways.
That's right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it would be better for Kyle to win this match. Will Ospreay and What Culture, I'm going to give them credit for this because I really like the angle that they put on it. Will Ospreay is doing this dance where he's win, gorgeous match, lose. And it kind of takes him a little bit further back from that world title that
Yeah.
he's going to eventually win because he's going to eventually win
Yeah.
that world title. And so I think this is a really
Forbidden
good
Door
tra-
2025.
Right. I think this is a good transition point
Sure.
to push somebody who is in a position to be pushed. Will Ospreay's not going to lose anything
No.
dropping the, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you're
Like,
right.
it's going to do
Yeah.
more for Kyle than it will for Will
Right.
to win. And it's not going to do nearly as much to Will to lose than it would for Kyle to lose.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Like, and I could also see like an Owen and Brett situation where, Kyle wins this one, but then Will goes and does really well in the Continental Classic
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
along those lines.
Yeah, there's lots of potential and lots of opportunity for Will Ospreay to continue to be the incredible force of nature in wrestling that he is.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. Roderick Strong and MJF, Joshy.
MJF's going to win.
Yeah, you think so?
I like Roddy. I do.
Yeah.
And I understand this is MJF's going to win because we're setting up MJF, Adam Cole at
Yep,
World's
I agree
End,
with
which
you.
is where all this started last year
I agree
with
with
the
you.
Devil.
I agree with you
So-
100%. Yeah, we don't even have to. Yeah, that's
It's not really
that's the
much to
move.
discuss. It's the
That's
move.
the move.
And I love Roddy, and they're going to have a great match. And we're
Yeah.
going to be like, again, MJF can wrestle. Like, really? Like, that's the
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. AEW International Championship. Konosuke Takashita.
Konosuke Takeshita?
No, that's not what I said.
I know that.
That's not what I said. Not what I said. That guy versus the Irishman Rick O'Shea.
The Rick O'Shea, that's right. Konosuke.
That's what it says
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah,
Konosuke.
Konosuke.
That's what it says. Konosuke. It just
We're-
depends on how you pronounce.
You mean
That's what I
correctly
said.
or
That's what I said.
incorrectly?
That's what I said.
Takeshita versus Ricochet, which again, Rick O'Shea, our favorite high flying Irishman.
That's right.
That's great. We totally stole that, and I don't even care.
I love it.
Takeshita's winning. Takeshita,
so?
yeah, and I love that Ricochet is in AEW. He is there to have fun. He's in the right place for that fun. Takeshita is on a roll, and it's going to take something pretty special to take that off of him because he's right where AEW wants him, and it's a great place. I love Takeshita. He's the like. As annoying as Don Callis might be, he doesn't have a bad person in his stable right now. I'm super excited about that. Super excited.
All right.
What about
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I think it makes sense that Takeshita wins, and I still love his entrance music.
you? Yeah.
It's just one chord.
Well, they changed it.
Oh,
He's-
did they?
yeah, they
Okay,
did.
okay,
He's
I
got a
haven't-
little bit more of a rock
Okay,
rock sound. Yeah.
Okay, well-
but yeah, the whole.
just
that
it's just the same monotone chord, doesn't ever change, and you're just like, I might jump off of this balcony if I had to listen to this.
These are hitting nerves I didn't know I had.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild. The dissonance is crazy. Okay, AEW TNT Championship match. We've got Daniel Garcia and
Jack Perry.
not so Jungle Jack Perry. Yes,
The
Jack
scapegoat?
Perry, the scapegoat.
I think Danny Garcia has to walk out of this.
I do too. I agree with you.
And that'll get the elite off our screen entirely because that'll
Yes.
be the last thing,
Yeah.
which leaves the Death Riders probably in through World's End, which then gets us into Wrestle Dynasty, which is when we're going to see in Japan, the Young Bucks will be there, Kenny's going to be there. And I suspect Moxley and the Death Riders will show up and cause a havoc, and that's what's going to spin us towards Revolution with the Elite and Death Riders that could go all the way into the summer, ending with blood and guts. Like there's I know it seems it seems like you're just trying to read into their map. I am. Like that's what we do. Like this is as wrestling fans, we're trying to figure out where they're going while also enjoying the ride. And I think you put it on Danny. He's finally got a championship on the side of the AEW guys, but you're still dealing with the Death Riders and the AEW World Championship and the Trios Championships. You may see Wheeler Yuta or Claudio come after Danny to try and take that title off of him because they can't go after the Elite because they all left.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good move too because again, building blocks of people's careers, right? Daniel Garcia, Jack Perry. I like the scapegoat.
I
Jack
so much
Perry.
do.
When he came back as the scapegoat, Jack Perry, I was like, is this gonna work? Does this feel, because it was such a juxtaposition from
where he
Jungle
was.
Jack,
Yeah.
and the Jurassic Express. It was because I feel like what's interesting is I feel like Killswitch, Luchasaurus, actually suffered more in the long run. Like where I see them now, has suffered more partnering with Christian and kind of going the heel route versus the scapegoat Jack Perry.
Yeah.
And that saddens me because Luchasaurus he's insane. Like that is such a huge man, and to do the things that he does.
Which, by the way, if you don't know, thoughts and prayers for Luchasaurus,
Yeah.
because double pneumonia has taken him out of action at least for a month at this point.
Yeah.
And that's been rough on a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he comes back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
And finally kills Papa Christian Cage.
Yes,
So
100%.
I think I'm ready
and
for
then
that
jump back in with Scapegoat Jack
Yeah.
Perry, be a
What-
heel tag.
So the big thing about Scapegoat, the reason
Yes.
why it's worked out for him,
Yeah.
one, he went to New Japan.
Right.
And he honed that character first over there.
Yeah.
And his first appearance in the States as the Scapegoat was in Chicago.
Right.
With New Japan.
Yeah.
Which immediately got people talking like he's clearly here to poke the bear. And then when he showed up at AEW, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So he's got his job. And
Yeah.
then the first
Yeah, I
thing he
love
does
it.
is hits Tony Khan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love it. But I think that when it first came into to AEW, I wasn't as familiar with that change. And so I had a little catching up to do.
Sure.
But since then, I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
it's great.
I think it's a great choice. It's a good move for him.
But go Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Time for a
Danny
championship.
Garcia needs to win this. He needs to win this. All right. Actually, the only, maybe minus the pre-show match, the only match that I'm not super excited about on this card, the TBS women's title with Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander. And it really saddens me to say that.
Yeah.
Because both of those, on paper, both of those wrestlers, this should be a dream match.
It should.
It does not feel like a dream
No.
match.
No, it doesn't. And I think there's a lot of reasons behind it. The fans have kind of turned on Mercedes,
Yeah.
which our guest for the next episode will kind of be saddened to hear, but it's the truth. They've kind of turned on her, and I think the match with Britt at All In did not come out like a lot of people expected. Whether it was Britt or Mercedes or whoever's fault, like I think it's just kind of been downhill from there. I don't think Mercedes' in-ring product has suffered. I think the character work is not working at the moment. I think she may need a break, which means that I hope Chris Statlander walks out the champ. That said, I think Mercedes is winning, and I think we're working towards a Camille face turn, and the match will be Camille and Mercedes at World's End.
I think that's an okay shift. I don't know.
It's tough.
If you want me to be honest, and I love Monet.
Mercedes, you wanted to say Sasha.
I did. I love Sasha Banks. I love Mercedes Monet. I love the boss, whatever you want to call her.
Mercedes Varnado. Moving on.
That's it. Snoop Dogg's cousin. She's fantastic. She's incredible. She's proven her weight in the wrestling world.
Yes, she has.
I just feel like there is something different about this version of her that is just not resonating.
Correct.
And I don't know if it needs like a, where eventually Bailey's character, the hugger Bailey, started to kind of fall a little flatter. And so she took that opportunity to really shift into a completely different direction.
True.
I think that this might be an opportunity for that. I think that what your theory is works out probably the best for her.
Sure.
It's like have her drop the title, eventually, not necessarily to Chris, but like have her drop the title eventually, and then take that as an opportunity to shift her focus, her character, maybe make some different alliances to kind of change what she's looking at. But it's just not hitting right now for me, which is sad because when she's doing New Japan work, like the couple of things that she did in New Japan were really awesome.
That's because over there they're still excited about her,
right?
And right now she needs the refresh. I think that her being in the TBS Championship has been nice because it allows her to kind of hold that and represent the network, and like. I'm all for that, and I like Mercedes. I want to see her succeed here, but this is I disagree with about 95% of what Eric Bischoff has said about AEW, but I agree with him that I think Mercedes she needs to step back, and she needs to go away for a minute, and which sucks because she was gone for what 3 years, but she does, and I think we just need to get a refresh and maybe come back at Revolution or Double or Nothing, but she's worth a lot more money, so that may not happen. That's okay. Mercedes is walking out champ.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and then our big world title match is last.
There's a women's segment I want to mention first
Oh, okay,
before we
go
do
for
that.
Go for it.
So
That wasn't on the card. So
it's because it's not.
yeah.
And they're
Is that the
so it's on here.
Is that the retirement?
No, it is
Oh,
the
okay.
Champagne Championship
that's
celebration.
That's right, because
with-
Tony Storm already.
With Mina hold on. Yeah.
She
With
already-
Mina Shirakawa and
So so sad.
Mariah May.
We're gonna miss you, Tony.
Tony Storm's gonna
We're gonna
kill
miss
Mariah May.
Miss you, Tony.
No, we're not. She's gonna be there Saturday. I am convinced of this.
Yeah.
This is a ruse. She is gonna come out. I hope she comes out. It's like,
Travesty is a sham. It's a mockery.
mockery.
It's a Travis Sham mockery.
It is going to be a champagne championship celebration
Yeah.
where Mariah May ends up soaked in champagne from either Mina or Tony Storm. That's
Yeah.
where I think that's because Mina turning on Mariah sounds amazing. So I'm down. So yes, World Championship match.
Yeah. AEW World Championship match: Jon Moxley versus the Big Orange Cassidy.
Jon Moxley is clearly winning this match.
Yeah.
I think that this is the best version of Orange Cassidy we've had in a while.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it allows him to use both the and I think it's the best we've had Orange Cassidy since he was international champion. That's probably the best I can say that, because his international championship run was great. He was constantly barely making it to the end, but pulling off the matches. He was just a legitimate threat as champion. And at one point, he beat Jon Moxley. Full Gear last year, he beat Jon Moxley for the international championship to get it back. So I love the fact that they chose Orange Cassidy as his first opponent since winning the championship, because he does look like someone that can beat Jon Moxley, because he has beaten Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's walking out. Jon Moxley's walking out. There's a high likelihood that Orange is going to end up taped and beat up again.
Yeah.
The conglomeration might get involved. If anyone's looking for a, quote, happy ending to Full Gear, that is not happening.
No, just turn it off after, I don't know, the
I told Deb
tag match.
I told Deb after Wrestle Dream. My Wrestle Dream ended after the 3 count, or after Bryan Danielson passed out.
Yeah.
Because all of the stuff they did afterwards, which I know why they did it, I could have done completely without.
Yeah.
I make that comment because first time I ever saw the movie Moulin Rouge. If you've ever seen Moulin Rouge, I'm going to say spoiler, but whatever.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that
It's
movie is like 20 years old.
It's old. But the big final song where the love story completes and then the curtain shuts. The first time I ever watched it, I pirated it. I'll admit it. Thanks, Napster. And it was broken up in 2 parts. And the first part ended when the curtain closed.
Oh, yeah.
So then when I pulled up this...
That's a pretty ending.
Yeah. then I pulled
not
up...
the end.
That's not the end. Because I pulled up the second part of that movie and went, this is not my Moulin Rouge.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
like it.
We're going to go see them in January, by the way, when
Oh,
they come
okay.
for Broadway. So I'm
Nice.
excited about that. Anyways, yeah, Jon Moxley's the champ.
Yeah.
He's the champ. I hate the briefcase. I want to see if the belt is actually in said briefcase or if they've destroyed it and are making a new belt. I'd kind of like that to be
That'd be
revealed
cool.
soon enough.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, it would be, but I also would hate it because I love the AEW World Championship. I think it's the best looking title in all of wrestling right now.
You didn't like the Crown Jewel one?
No one should. It looks like a stop sign.
I liked it because it was green, and green's my favorite
Well,
color.
that's
literally
fine.
the only reason.
But did you see it on
Yeah.
Liv
was
Morgan?
bigger- it was bigger than Liv. It was like a Cheshire cat ate Liv Morgan.
It was so
It
good.
was just the way that the
Stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Massive.
do you have our 3 count?
Almost. I
Okay.
have 2 of our 3.
Make sure you check us out. Again, I know I'll say some of this in the post, but check us out on YouTube at the Established Facts. We are the stable, but we're a part of the Established Facts stable of podcasts. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That worked out. PopCon Indy, of course, is coming to Indianapolis late June. I do not have the exact dates in my hand, so it's just late June. Of course, we are hoping to possibly check out Anime Crossroads later this year. The stable will be at Squared Circle Expo. The weekend
Anime Crossroads is next year.
is next year, 2025. Well, I mean, it's within a year.
February.
Whatever, February, okay. Anime Crossroads in February. WrestleMania in April over Easter weekend. Stupid. Squared Circle Expo the next weekend. Smart. If you've not seen some of the people that are picked for that one that are coming, including the entire Hurt Syndicate, going to be a great show. So I've promoted long enough. Make sure you check out episode 31
Yeah.
in a couple weeks
Yeah.
because we're going to do some fantasy booking with our buddy Quentin Pendergrass, which I know him from church, and he's a big wrestling fan and is a massive Roman Reigns fan. So I've stalled about as best
No,
I
I got
can.
it. I got it. I got
Thanks.
all three.
All
I got all
right.
three. All right. So if you are new to our channel, if you are new to our podcast, the Stable Podcast, again, this is Joshy. I'm Big Don. And we always conclude our episodes with a 3 count. It'll be 3 funny little quips, phrases, something that we may have said, or just something goofy that I come up with based on something that we've said.
3 times more difficult than an established fact.
That is a fact. That is true. That should be number 1, as a matter of fact. It's not.
It's not.
But it should be.
Yeah, that is an established fact.
yeah.
The 3 count is 3 times more complicated than an
Yeah,
established
it is.
fact.
It is. But for some reason, almost more entertaining.
Almost.
Almost. Okay. So we're going to get into our 3 count, and then we will see you guys later. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The Bloodline is not the NWO. If anyone is the NWO, it's the Bullet Club.
1. That is
right.
so true.
That is true. It's true.
Because everyone's been at Bullet Club. Ask my wife.
That's
I'm pretty
right.
sure that her mother was in Bullet Club.
I think all
at one
3 of
point.
us are in the Bullet
Yeah,
Club.
we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Too sweet. All right. Okay, here we go. The Outrunners would date your mom. The Kings of the Black Throne would convert your mom.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah. And Private Party would sell your mom a dime bag.
Only if it's legal.
That's
2.
right. 2. Yeah. And finally, Joshy is rooting for Takeshita.
Takeshita, yes.
I am rooting for Takashita. And we're just going to figure out who wins, is all I'm saying.
Ricochet.
Ricochet is going to win. 3. All right. Well, as you can see, that's our 3 count. That's our episode 30 of The Stable. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We love you all, and we will check you later.
Bye.
Deuces.